If you're watching this video, I assume that you want to learn how to close your first wholesale deal, or you're already looking to close your first wholesale deal, rather than if you just started or if you've been already going for however long that may be. I've been trying to be a wholesaler for the past 4 months now. I don't think I've earned the title yet because me and you are in the same position. I have not closed my first deal yet, but I'm looking to do so very, very soon. So yeah, I'm just here to tell you that we're in the same position and I want to spend this journey together. I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I'm doing, what's worked for me, what hasn't worked for me. Sorry to change up the angle on you guys, but why did I start wholesaling 4 months ago? So it is March right now. I started back in November of 2024. It is March 2025. My entire life, not really my entire life, I'd say probably, I'm 18 years old. I just graduated high school back in June of last year. But ever since, I want to say probably 6th grade, probably middle school, I've always wanted to get rich. I've always wanted to be financially free. And not really because of the money, really just the experiences that comes with the money. I've never, ever liked the idea of working for somebody else like I am right now. I've always wanted to be that guy that has the other people working for them. I feel like it just made the most sense, you know what I mean? I just feel like working for somebody else nowadays isn't efficient. I don't feel like it ever was. I mean, overall, it depends on the person you are, what type of routes you want to take in life, what you want to do in life. But me personally, I want to do everything. I want to do everything I possibly can. I want to experience everything I possibly can before I die. I want to travel the world. I'm on this earth for a reason, not to sit in a shop 8 hours a day for 60-70% of my life. That's not what I want to do. So that's why I made the decision to take action and start wholesaling. But ever since I got that spike of interest in money, ever since middle school, I've always been that kind of like entrepreneur. I've done so many things. I mean, the first thing that really got me hooked on making money was reselling sneakers in middle school. That was the first hustle I ever did, was reselling sneakers in middle school, and I made a lot of money off of it, and that's what made me fall in love with the hustle. I was the only kid in middle school making that kind of money, and it just made me like, I love this. So yeah, ever since then, I ended up getting scammed out some sneakers, then I stopped doing that, and then I always jumped between different things. I would do something, and then I would try to do like 2-3 things at once, and then I'll jump to something else. And dude, I did all types of different things. But another thing that I can say that I solely put my focus into and became somewhat successful in was starting a clothing brand. Actually, it wasn't anything huge. I didn't even have a website or anything like that. It was really just like local sales that I was getting. I mean, I shipped a few packages out. I made quite a few drops. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, I still see some people, you know, like wearing my stuff nowadays, and I stopped the clothing brand, I think 2 years ago. I just wasn't motivated enough. That's why I didn't stick to it. I had this thing in my head, which it's honestly kind of true. And like, I needed a website to be successful with the clothing brand, and I couldn't get a website because I was 16 when I was doing that. And you have to be 18 to get a website, and my parents wouldn't let me use their information, so there was really just nothing I could do to get a website. So yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons I stopped doing that. It's always been something I always think about, though. I always want to jump back into it, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is wholesaling. I was actually originally going to be a realtor. Back when I was still in high school, my senior year, I started spiking some type of interest because I wanted to be a plumber. and eventually branch off, because I did VOTEC in high school for plumbing, levels 1 and 2. So I wanted to get a job in plumbing right after high school, and then eventually, get all my licenses and certifications, and then eventually branch off and start my own plumbing business, and hopefully become financially free with that, and then scale that to something else, and then, it's all funnel. But I realized that that's not what I wanted to do. There's so much more opportunities nowadays, rather than waiting 4 to 8 years to get all your certs for plumbing in order to branch off and start doing your own thing. There's no need to do all that when there's so much more profitable things that you can do without any certifications or any education, obviously education is needed, but no requirements to get started with wholesaling. As far as being a real estate agent, I had to talk with my dad on the phone when I was talking to him about plumbing and getting a job, and he was on the same page. He told me, dude, I don't think you want to do plumbing. Because my father's been in construction almost his entire life, and he's always warned me, don't do it, man. And I never listened until that one phone call I had with him, and he was because I've always had some type of interest in real estate, and he was like, dude, you have interest in real estate, just do something with that. You could go be a realtor. I was like, why not? So I started my course. I paid $200-300 for the CE Shop course. I did the entire course. I passed the final quiz, and then I scheduled my licensing exam. I went and took that, and I failed it. That had me very, very upset, but it did not make me lose motivation, because I went home right after failing the test, and I was right back on the computer trying to reschedule it for tomorrow. I was trying to get back in there and retake it ASAP, because I was so mad that I failed. I was disappointed in myself. But they hit me with a 10, you gotta wait 10 business days to reschedule your test. And I was like, dude, I'm tired of waiting. And I already had wholesaling in the back of my mind, because I knew a guy that I went to high school with that was bringing in 10 grand a month, closing wholesale deals. I was like, dude, I'm just gonna dive into wholesaling instead of just getting hooked up on getting my real estate license. And I know that getting my license would benefit me a lot, but I want to close a deal so bad and make big money that I don't want to invest any more of my time into going back and studying how to be a realtor and blah, 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 blah. It's not the point of the video. But, yeah. So, after that's really what made me dive into wholesaling. It was right after I failed my licensing exam in November of 2024. So, yeah, I started from there. And my goal is to close some deals, make some big boy money, and build capital off of this while still being able to live financially free at the young age I am, hopefully, and at the same time building capital and eventually being able to fund an investment team and start flipping, renting, etc., etc. Who knows? But it's just gonna go nowhere but up as soon as I can close my first deal. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you guys what I've been doing, what my methods have been, what type of leads I've been targeting, how I'm getting my leads, etc. Just to share that with you guys. But one thing I do need to disclose to anybody that may be watching this video that is thinking that maybe have seen some videos on Instagram or TikTok or even YouTube of these gurus just making wholesaling sound so easy. Not easy, not at all. One thing, I feel like most people have already realized this, but if you haven't yet, I need you to realize that most of everybody on social media is saying something on there for a reason. Most of it is complete bullshit when it comes to business and making money, and there's really honestly only a select few people on YouTube or any social media site in general that you can really take their word for. Shout out to Saks Realty. Go start watching those guys. Those guys know what the fuck they're talking about. I might have to bleep that out, but let's get to it. How do I get and market to leads? for the past 4 months. So I mainly use PropStream for pulling leads. Most of you might have. Let's wait for this truck to pass. Most of you might have already heard of PropStream. I'd assume it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, lead generation software for wholesaling. Tons of data on there. It's kind of pricey. It's $100 a month. But go on there, you can filter. I'll put some screenshots up so you can guys get a better understanding of what I'm saying. But there's tons of filters that you can pick to target motivated sellers. Because if you guys don't already know, like pre-foreclosures, pre-probates, vacant properties, divorce, liens, failed listing, high equity with some other filters thrown in there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's how you find motivated sellers. We're not just going out here and just trying to go get these random on-market properties at a discounted price. No, we need to find sellers with off-market properties that are motivated to sell so you can get it at that discounted price and dispo it successfully. We're looking for good deals and motivated sellers. So yeah, PropStream is mainly what I use. Another good one is Stantum though. I'll put links for all of these softwares that I'm mentioning in the bio, or not the bio, the description. Stantum is good. I think Stantum is actually pretty cool because they don't have much. I mean, they have a lot of data, but not as nearly as much as PropStream and all, because they're still kind of smaller. I was actually in a meeting with the guy that created Stantum, and I think it's very cool because it's unique. They pull records with no third party at all, rather than they manually pull these records from counties and governments across the entire country and funnel them onto their it's all leads coming from counties and no third parties, and third parties, that's what usually makes some data inaccurate, because we all know, if you don't already know, county lists is going to be the most accurate data you can possibly get, because it's coming from your county, your government. So yeah, and another thing they do that I think is also pretty cool is they with the skip tracing, they have built-in skip tracing. We know that PropStream has built-in skip tracing and it sucks. But the thing with Stantum is they actually have partnerships with different skip tracing companies, and they have like a variety. They have multiple different partnerships with different skip tracing companies. So it gives you a variety. Like when you go in to skip trace your leads that you've already pulled on the same software, you get to pick what skip tracing company you want to use, which also gives you more variety for price and how much cost per lead. So it just makes things easier on people with smaller pockets, and people on a budget. People don't want to pick who they're skip tracing, and it just makes things easier overall. You can pull the leads on there and then go skip trace them, pick who you want to skip trace with. It's awesome. I'll leave that in the description below. Stanton. But once I get these leads, how am I marketing to the leads? SMS blasting. A lot of people do cold calling. That's like the name of the game, cold calling. Pick up the phone, start dialing, make some calls. The main problem I have with cold calling is I don't have time to cold call because of where I am right now. I work every day from 1:30 to 6 o'clock. So like that right there is kind of like the hot spot for cold calling. And it's just like, damn, I'm working like literally like my shift is literally like, I'd say the hot spot for cold calling is probably like 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So, I could go home and call for like 30 to 45 minutes, but like, no, this is a volume game. That wouldn't do nothing for me. I don't want to keep beeping out cuss words. I have a potty mouth. So I'm gonna have to try and get better with that as I keep uploading these videos. But yeah, so SMS blasting, if you've never heard of it, it's basically where you can go in software and you can literally send, you used to be able to send like thousands of text messages at once, but More recently, I think a couple of years ago, they had some new laws put in place that kind of minimized blasting a lot. I mean, I think the laws were intended to completely disregard it, but people still do it. I know the software I use is called Marketingplex. They are awesome. Their whole their whole entire software is built to get past the A2P carriers, which is great because that's the problem with SMS blasting nowadays is the carriers. If you go on any other platform, setting up the A2P is not easy. You have to set up the A2P in order to do blasting to get past the carriers, to get verified that you're actually getting inbound leads. Like in order to SMS blast leads, they need to have already submitted to a conversation, which obviously all of these off-market leads have not submitted to any conversation at all because this is cold SMS, cold calling, right? We don't already have a relationship with these people. We're trying to form that and then get a deal off of it. So yeah, but the great thing about Marketingplex is they literally do all of it for you. I mean, yeah, they charge a fee for it, but that's the main problem a lot of wholesalers have when it comes to SMS blasting is getting through the A2P registration. A lot of people can't do it themselves. I mean, I'm pretty sure I even tried it myself and I couldn't get past it. So I paid, shout out to Cindy for SMS blasting. I'm going to put them, Marketingplex, in the description as well. And if you guys decide to go with them, you want to start marketing that way, send some text messages, ask for Cindy, contact support. She will help you. She will walk you through everything you need to know to successfully SMS blast in 2025. It's just to give you guys like a little rough idea. I pull a list of 1,000 leads and then I skip trace them, which brings me down to like 300 to 600 leads. And then from there, I'll go and put them into the software, and then I run a campaign on all those leads, and it'll send out 2 text messages every 3 minutes, I believe. So yeah, that it is still tremendous volume, and like I said, this game is all volume. You got to think about the competitors that you have out here that have so much more money than you, so much more time than you, that just eat, sleep, and breathe wholesaling. Those are the guys you're going up against. You're not the only one calling these off-market leads. So that's one of the main reasons that why this wholesaling is not easy. Also, a lot of these people are just going to tell you to go fuck off, because people people in these situations don't want to hear people calling them, hey, I want to buy your house, and a lot of these people are pissed off because people in pre-foreclosure, pre-probates even makes me, that shit kind of makes me feel bad sometimes because they just lost a family member. You're calling trying to. It's sometimes it can run into ethics, but it's all business. Yeah, that's how I get my leads. That's how I market to my leads. I do cold calls sometimes, but only when I have to. Only when it's right and more convenient to do so. Maybe when I'm pulling a smaller list of some more warmer leads. That I can just, call maybe 20, 30. And I also don't have a dialer, so that's the other thing. And dialers are a lot more expensive than like a blasting software would be. So that's another thing. I'm not rich, so I don't have unlimited capital. And that's honestly my main problem right now. So yeah, we're going to get into that in a minute. So yeah, just stay tuned. Biggest mistakes that I have made and some tips for you guys so you don't make the same mistakes that I made, because I wish I had somebody that told me about these mistakes before I made them. Number one, right off the bat, this might not even be a too big one, but this screwed me. Before getting anything under contract, unless you're virtually wholesaling, of course, and even then, boots on the ground is recommended. As long as the property is local to you that you're about to lock up, you need to get your own eyes on it. You need to look at that property physically. And the main reason I say that is because you never know. You never know. And this is legal matter. We're entering into legal purchase agreements with real human sellers that own real property. So it's a big deal. So you definitely need to know what you're doing before you just start going and looking at deals. But really the main reason I say this is because I've been in a contract before. It fell through, obviously, because I haven't got my first deal yet, like I said. But the reason it fell through is because it wasn't a good deal. And I locked it up thinking it was a good deal, but I didn't do enough research, and I ultimately wasted my time and ended up having to pull out of the contract because it wasn't a deal. The numbers on the house were great. Like if I were to send you the details of the address and the numbers and the ARV and the asking price and the rehab, it would look like a deal right off the bat. The numbers were great, but the area was terrible. You need to think about that. If you live in an area, like for an example, I live in Maryland. I'm local to Baltimore City. This is a prime example. The property I had under contract was in Baltimore. The thing I didn't realize before getting it under contract was that the property was in a terrible area. Investors don't like that. Some of them don't have a problem with it, don't get me wrong, but most of them do. And on top of that, to make things even worse, the block I had this turnkey rental property on was full of board ups. Watch out for board ups. Watch out for board ups. If you're looking at something and the block is full of board ups, if there's board ups next to the home as well, I forget the exact, and again, real estate is local. Real estate is local. Always remember that. There's a lot of laws that apply here that wouldn't apply, say, in Minnesota or wherever you are. But for example, like where I am, I know I'm not too sure like the exact number, but I'm pretty sure like if a property is right here, a row home, and then there's two board ups, two neighbors, both board ups, POS, it can't qualify as Section 8 at that point. So that's another thing you need to keep an eye out on is stay away from board ups. Honestly, I would honestly just stay away from bad areas in general, because even then, going and looking at the property, you got to think about your safety too. I mean, it's it might sound a little crazy, but it's a real thing. Anything can happen. But another thing, don't overanalyze deals. You need to just pick up the phone and start dialing. Don't sit there and look over deals and, oh, well, this could be a deal. I'm going to look their number up and call in. Nah, you need to pull a fat list. If you want to, make sure all the properties qualify. That's cool. But don't sit there and try and find the perfect deal and overanalyze everything. All you need to do is start dialing, and then whoever's motivated, once you can get some motivation, that's when you start analyzing the property and seeing if it could be a deal or not. And if it's not a deal, then so be it. But there's tons of things you can do. I mean, you can do a novation for that, or I mean, even there's so much things that goes into this game. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But another thing that goes into what I was just about to say is build a network. Your network is one of your strongest assets when it comes to business, especially real estate. Like I was saying, like if you came into contact with an off-market deal, right, or property, and they have some motivation in them, you give them an offer. I was kind of looking to get like the market value for my home, and that's just way too low. My home is worth this and that. They clearly want market value. Then what you can do is you can refer them to one of the realtors in your network, and then grab a rabbit's fee off that, and made some money either way. So there's just tons of opportunities. Even if they don't want to sell to you, there's still things you can do. I'm not too educated in novations yet, but I do know about them, and I do have some interest in doing some. But yeah, it's just another thing as well. So yeah, don't overanalyze deals. Build your network. Watch out for board ups. And last but most certainly not least, if you're watching this video right now and you haven't started anything yet, like if you're like, all right, I want to start wholesaling, I'm trying to start now, I'm watching this video trying to learn a little bit, I'm trying to like get going, make sure you have some money. You need to have a lump sum of money. Even if you could open up an LLC and then open a business account and just, if you don't have the money yet, if you have a job right now, if you're working at your 9 to 5, take that 9 to 5, take a month or two, maybe 3 months, maybe even just a couple weeks. It's different for everybody. Stack your money, stack it until you have enough. I'd say a couple thousand. And then that's when you can start, because that's the mistake I made. I didn't start with, I've always had money, but I didn't start with any crazy lump sum amount to just go and invest into this business. And I honestly feel like that was my biggest mistake, because I feel like this is something I might have said earlier in the video, but about a week ago, I realized for the last 4 months that I feel like I've been doing everything wrong for the past 4 months. Not necessarily doing everything wrong, but just not providing enough volume, since I don't have enough capital to produce that much volume. Because like I said many times, volume is key in this game. And for the past 4 months, I just haven't had any crazy capital, like go out and be super consistent and be able to send follow-ups to all the leads I'm getting. Follow-up, that's another tip. Follow-ups are key. You need to do follow-ups, and that's why I'm telling you that you need to start with capital, because follow-ups cost money, depending on what type of marketing you're using. But, like for example, SMS blasting, follow-ups will cost me more money, a lot more money, to be honest. And I don't have the money for it, so I can't really do follow-ups right now, rather than only certain leads that are pretty warm or hot. But I'd like to follow up with everybody that had any response at all. But I can't, because I don't have the capital. So that's why I tell you guys, make sure you have all the money you need to just be a beast in this business, because once you have the money to invest, you'll get your return. But yeah, I'm not providing enough volume because I don't have enough capital. And I don't want to take a break and build that capital, because I'm just really impatient at this point. I want to get my first deal. I've been invested so much of my time and so much of my money over the past 4 months. No return. It makes me really frustrated. But it's okay, because what I'm doing now is I'm trying to make a pivot over to land, and I want to start working on land. See if I can maybe close a land deal before a residential deal. And if I can do that, then I'll just be a land guy. Close some land deals, and then I'll build capital off of that, and then I'll go back to residential, provide more volume, hopefully close some deals there, and then that's all she wrote. So that's really what I'm doing right now. So my main focus for the past week has been land. I'm still learning. It's pretty confusing, but I know once I learn everything, it'll come easier. But right now it's still pretty confusing. I'm still trying to learn, so I haven't marketed to any land sellers yet. I do have builders. I built a good list of builders. I have more than I need, so that's not a problem. I just need to keep learning, and I need to know what I'm doing before I jump into it. Because, like I said, I don't want to waste more of my time working on land like I just did residentially, and I need a return soon, because, like I said, 4 months, it might not seem like that long of a time, but I feel like it's a long time in my opinion. 4 months is a long time when you know that you can die whenever. You never know. So, yeah, I mean, my next steps to continue to improve, obviously, because it's all we want to do here is improve. It's just keep grinding, keep working. I'm working all day today, so hopefully, I work in a shack. Like, when I'm here, it's very, like, as you can see right now, I'm sitting here recording a YouTube video. It's usually pretty slow in here. I don't get a lot of customers, so I usually, like this, while I'm at work already, getting my paycheck, always sitting here on my computer and working on my business as well. So hopefully I can, finish up trying to learn land today, and I want as soon as possible, I want to start marketing I want to start pulling some vacant land lists and start marketing to them. And I honestly, I don't know. I might drop the SMS blasting for land, and I feel like I like cold calling more than SMS blasting. And I don't think I'm going to fully drop SMS blasting because I'm definitely not going to get a dialer. The thing with land is that motivated sellers are a lot more motivated when it comes to land rather than residentially. So I don't feel like it'll take that much more. That's the main reason why I'm pivoting over to land, is because I don't think it takes as much volume to be able to get some motivation in land rather than residential. So I really honestly feel like I could sit down and make calls manually and get some traction. But I haven't done it yet, so we're just gonna have to see how that goes, and I'll take it from there. And I'll probably test it out for a few days, see how it goes. Yeah, but I also know that this type of stuff takes time, so just be patient in your journey. And yeah, I want you guys in the comments. I want you guys to tell me where you are in your journey right now, how long you've been doing this, if you've closed yet, if you haven't closed yet. And I want to stay updated on every single one of your journeys. And the way that they can happen is my Discord that I'll leave in the description below. It's not such a big community. I think we actually just hit 100 members in there. But yeah, I mean, it's a Discord for wholesalers, investors, realtors, lenders, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're in the real estate game, server is for you. Opportunities can be bet in there. Good way to build your network, good way to get some JV opportunities. And yeah, who says what's to come in the community in the future. So yeah, I definitely appreciate a join. We'd love to see you in there. Like I said, I definitely want to stay updated on every single one of my members' journeys and just go through the journey with all of you, especially since I'm a beginner myself, I guess, even though I've been at it for 4 months. I haven't closed nothing. I want to close together with all of you. So yeah, I mean, as far as the conclusion, the number one thing I just want you guys to know is that wholesaling is not easy. It is very difficult. And that goes for anything nowadays. I mean, if you're starting a business, wholesaling is a business module. If you're starting a business module, it is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy ever. Just never. It never will be. So don't ever expect anything like this to be easy. It's going to be hard. There's going to be days when you want to quit. There's going to be days when this sucks, man. Just got to keep grinding, keep getting through it, and just think about where you're going to be at in 2-3 years. Once you can lift your feet off the ground and once you can close some deals, and then you're going to realize that it was all worth it, and you're going to be so glad that you didn't quit. And just keep working, because as long as you keep taking action and keep being consistent and keep working, there's no way you want to get your return. It's impossible. It's inevitable for you to get your return as long as you're doing things the right way and just being consistent. Just keep grinding. Don't give up. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be uploading my next video. I don't know when this video is going to get uploaded, but yeah, I mean, I want this to be a thing. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've never, ever seen myself doing something like this. I've always been a very private person. I've never, ever liked putting myself out on social media. Ever. I've always hated it. I don't like people knowing what I'm up to. I don't like people knowing what I'm doing. But I don't know. I want to share this journey with other people.